Hey guys, today's video is about ant highways. And not just any old trail of six-legged creepers, I'm talking six-lane mega freeways in the middle of the forest, bustling with more traffic than downtown Bangkok at 5 p.m. Picture this. You're walking through a quiet patch of forest, sunbeams cutting through the leaves, birds chirping like they're rehearsing for an indie folk album, and then you look down. Below your sneakers, there's a whole logistics empire operating in silence. Hundreds, no, thousands of ants are zooming in both directions like caffeine-fueled Amazon drivers. There's no honking, no road rage, no one slamming brakes. You swear one of them just passed with a leaf the size of a dinner plate on its back. You're not hallucinating. Ants don't just walk around randomly. They build organized highways, paths etched into the forest floor, some of them permanent, others more pop-up express lane, the most used ones. They're multi-lane, bidirectional, pheromone-controlled speedways. Literally, you crouch down, getting your nose a little too close to the dirt and probably into mosquito territory, and realize they have rules. Some lanes are for outgoing foragers, others are for those heading back with the goats. They avoid collisions by following an algorithm encoded in smell trails and instinct, kind of like if Waze was built into your DNA. Now, ants don't always get it right. There are tiny traffic jams. And just like you, in a panic trying to merge on the freeway, some ants just freeze and wait for the right moment. But overall, smooth, efficient, terrifyingly well organized. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you really like what I do here. Also, tell me where you're watching from and what time it is. I love reading those. Now, turn off the lights, maybe turn on the fan for some soothing nose, and let's watch today's video together. You decide to mess with the ants, not in a villainous, Saturday morning cartoon way, just curious. So you dab a little sweat from your wrist onto a stick and nudge it into the middle of their highway. Instantly, chaos. Some ants stop, others start spinning in confused circles. One dramatic little guy just turns around and leaves. Turns out, you just threw a wrench into their pheromone matrix, and yes, that's a thing. Ants don't use traffic lights or road signs. They lay down chemical trails. Each ant secretes pheromones from special glands, leaving invisible scent highways behind. More ants follow the strongest trail, and boom, the forest floor becomes a living, breathing Google Maps minus the voice telling you to recalculating. The chemical smell is so precise that even slight interference, like your sweaty human finger oils, can scramble the message. To ants, your body smells like 400 for error, page not found. And yet, in minutes, they start adapting, rooting, rebuilding, resmelling. It's not just instinct, it's algorithmic behavior. A glitchy but rapidly self-correcting system. Now, you might think this is all just clever insect stuff, but history begs to differ. Ancient Roman military formations, with column marching orders and centralized supply chains, weirdly resembled ant behavior. Some historians even theorize that early war strategies, those brutal, grind-knit-out tactics, were subconsciously modeled after insect swarms observed in the wild. Imagine a Roman general squinting at a tree stump and going, yes. That one-ass flanking maneuver, very tactical. And if you're wondering, yes, certain species of army ants do have a designated traffic cop. Sort of. They release different pheromones to slow down or redirect the mob. Basically, they're the Waze alerts of the forest. Smells weird, but works. You keep walking and oops, you accidentally kick over a half-rotted log. Harmless, you think, but to the ants, you just nuked their highway system. The scent trail is gone, their road signs are buried. The Starbucks they were following doesn't exist anymore. At first, they scatter, ants bumped into each other like shoppers on Black Friday. Some freeze, others double back, a few brave ones start pacing in spirals, expanding outward like radar pulses. And then you see it, a haunting little circle of ants, spinning endlessly like they're stuck in a looped video. Congratulations, you've just triggered the infamous at death spiral. It's as creepy as it sounds. When pheromone trails get scrambled, some ant species start following each other in circles, believing they're on the right path. The circle can grow up to hundreds of ants. Why? They walk and walk, sometimes for hours, until they drop dead from exhaustion. It's nature's version of being trapped in a roundabout with no exits, forever. You laugh nervously, but then remember something darker. During World War II, Allied forces tried using scent-based camouflage in the Pacific. It worked until the wrong animals like termites started showing up in droves, disrupting entire encampments. Nature's network doesn't appreciate interruptions. Back to your ants. Some are recovering. Scouts veer off, twitching their antennae in rapid Morse code. Others begin laying down new trails, but for a few unlucky spiralers, the glitch is terminal. They loop endlessly, their little bodies locked in algorithmic failure, and suddenly, you realize this isn't just a bug in their system, it's a feature. Most recover, the few that don't. Collateral damage for the hive survival. Brutal, efficient, kind of like every startup you've ever worked for. Still, you feel a little bad. You crouch down to observe the aftermath. Within minutes, maybe seconds, the ants have rebooted. They've already carved out an alternate path, looping around your boot print and over a fallen leaf. You watch one ant drag a crumb the size of a Lego brick, seamlessly re-entering the flow, like a pro merging onto the Autobahn. What you're witnessing is a construction crew without tools, brakes, or complaints. Every ant is both engineer and labor. When trails get damaged, specialized workers, often called pavers, release fresh pheromones while their tiny feet flatten the terrain. Some even use their bodies to temporarily bridge gaps, like wiggling scaffolding. The coordination is terrifying. No Slack channels, no HR departments. Just instinct, speed, and a little chemical magic. And then you spot something truly wild. A leafcutter ant bridge. They're literally stacking leads to create a raised overpass above a puddle. You blink, and it's there, a trail lifted off the ground like a ramp built by an architect with zero patience for bureaucracy. Leafcutter ants are basically the civil engineers of the insect world. One colony in Brazil was found to have a trail system with side tunnels and bypass routes stretching over 3 miles. That's longer than the Vegas Strip. Humans have borrowed from this brilliance. Termite mounds, for instance, use passive airflow to keep their underground tunnels cool, exactly how modern architects now design ventilated skyscrapers. Nature's blueprints, copied and pasted into glass and steel. One ant trips on a twig, another one just walks over him like, not my problem, and yet. The system keeps moving. It's not about the individual. It's about the network. The highway lives on even when it breaks. You're watching resilience, six-legged, pheromone-powered resilience. You step back and realize something. This isn't just about ants. What you've been staring at for the last hour in the dirt is basically you. It's Google. It's Uber Eats. It's highway design, fiber optics, crowd control, like Coachella, all packed into a squirmy, six-legged demo reel. Ants aren't smart the way we think of smarts. One ant is kind of a doofus, but a colony is a genius. It can build, adapt, reroute, defend, and rebuild again, all faster than a human city council can organize lunch. You're not looking at bugs. You're looking at swarm intelligence, the idea that thousands of small, simple actions can lead to massive, complex systems. Sound familiar? It's literally how the internet works. Packet switching. Ants were doing it millions of years before computers. And it gets weirder. Some species use dead ants as trail markers. When a section of highway gets too chaotic, fallen ants are left in place. Part obstacle, part warning sign. You know, like traffic cones that used to be alive, grows, a little, but effective. You pull out your phone and Google ant colony efficiency. Turns out, researchers studied these trails to model everything from shipping routes to server traffic. Your food delivery algorithm might owe royalties to a bug you nearly stepped on. Above you, birds chirp again. The breeze kicks up, the forest hums with life. And down below, the ant superhighway rolls on, buzzing, shifting, rebuilding, thriving. Maybe you came here to disconnect. Instead, you found the ultimate connection, a system so primitive and perfect, it's practically sacred. You step back carefully this time, not for the ants. For the future you just walked across. You're still here. Nice. Now slow things down. Let the fen hum, blink less, let the images of spiraling ants and leaf bridges melt into one soft blur. You don't need to remember everything. Just know it's still happening. Right now, out there, the forest is alive. And the ants never stop building.